Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. I am sick yet again, so apologies if my voice sounds a little bit off. Rogue Trader is less than a month away from release, and one of the questions I hear most often is, will this game be welcoming to players who are new to the Warhammer 40K universe? There's a lot of people on my channel who love CRPGs, and more specifically, love Owlcat games, but they are not sure about diving into Warhammer. Let me say right up front that I was completely new to this universe before playing Rogue Trader, and I found it to be a fantastic entryway into the lore. In this video, I'll walk through 4 ways Owlcat has made things easier for people who are embracing their unconditional devotion to the Emperor for the very first time. There are also a few of you who asked me to show all the triumphs and darkest hours in the game. I didn't think that was worth making a separate video, but in the background while I'm going over this information, I'll go ahead and show you that as well. Before we get into that, let me remind everyone that here at Slandered Gaming, we focus on RPGs, and more specifically, CRPGs. You can find builds, guides, and live streams for games like Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, Baldur's Gate 3, and Pillars of Eternity. If that kind of stuff interests you, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Alright, the first way that Owlcat helps people brand new to the universe is by providing you with pre-packaged characters. When you go to character creation, there's the option to create your own character, but that might be intimidating for anyone who is not used to the mechanic system within Warhammer. Personally, I find it easier to pick up than Pathfinder, but there's definitely a lot of people on my channel who have said they find this much more intimidating than Wrath of the Righteous. You can watch my videos, pull up the weeds, and try to create a heavily optimized Rogue Trader, or you can just let Owlcat do the work by selecting one of their characters that already has everything laid out for you. You can completely customize a character's portrait, voice, appearance, name, and the name of your ship. The homeworld, origin, triumphs, darkest hours, characteristics, and archetype are all chosen for you. There's one option for melee combat and one for ranged, along with a debuffer option that can be played either way. They don't provide a character with the officer archetype, which is based around buffing your party and giving them extra turns, but that's probably because out of all the starting classes, it's the most difficult one to make effective. So if you are intimidated, you should avoid using it for your main character. Regardless of whether you use your own character or a pre-generated one, when you level up, some abilities and talents will have a thumbs up marker next to them, letting you know that this is a really good option for the class you have chosen. No matter what archetype you are playing, there's a long list of different choices in this menu, so if you are feeling overwhelmed, just pick one that has already been recommended. Or, just watch one of my build videos that will be coming out soon. The second way Owlcat sets new players up for success is by providing a massive glossary and marking all the important items you need to know during conversations. The game is paced very well, which we'll talk about in a bit, but right from the start, you'll be hit with a term that you might not be familiar with. God Emperor. Like many of the other important terms in the game, you can hover your mouse over it and get a little bit of information about what this term means, along with right-clicking it if you want to get the full tooltip. This will usually provide a one-sentence answer that hopefully jogs your memory, but if it doesn't, there's a link in the tooltip for the encyclopedia, or as it's actually called in the game, your corpus valencius. This is a full list of all the terms and mechanics in the game. You'll notice it has the first line that you can see from your dialogue screen, but then there's a whole paragraph of additional information if you want to really dig in. Not only is there a full list of these names, but there's also a dictionary list full of different terms you might need to be reminded of, along with a separate mechanics dictionary reminding you what heavy armor does, or the difference between impact and fire damage. Throughout the game, you will also get tutorial messages helping to explain how certain tasks are done, and they will be listed here as well. Without question, this is a great resource that will really help you understand both the world and the lore. Next on the list, we'll circle back to something I hinted at before: pacing. This game does a fantastic job of introducing players to their new role and the overall universe in a way that is very easy to digest. The first hour or two of the game is really about understanding what a rogue trader is and why it's such an important role. You learn a little bit more about the world, but not so much that it feels like the game is just overwhelming you. Over the next 10 to 15 hours, you will recruit the majority of party members in the game. Each party member represents a different aspect of Warhammer lore. They are all fascinating, and most of them have quite a bit to say. Cassia is a navigator. Heinrichs is an interrogator who's probably one step away from becoming an inquisitor. Pascal is part of the Adeptus Mechanicus, etc., etc. Each of them serves as your entryway to gaining more understanding about part of the game world, and it makes the process of uncovering the lore significantly more entertaining than it is in many other games. This doesn't just come out in your direct conversations with party members. Oftentimes, when you are roaming in the game world and have to make certain decisions, one or sometimes even several of them will chime in about how a situation should be resolved based on their personal perspective. Not only is this banter oftentimes very entertaining, but it can also be helpful to illustrate what these choices actually mean. By the time you have your ship, along with the freedom to travel where you wish, you'll have a really solid understanding of the world your rogue trader is operating in. Last on the list, this game provides you with a very well organized and detailed combat log. If you attack, you can look into the log and see what was your hit chance, what did you roll, what was the chance the enemy would dodge this attack, what does the enemy have to assist them in dodging, what debuffs have you placed on the enemy to prevent them from dodging, what is the chance they will parry your attack, what is helping them parry attacks, what debuffs are preventing them from parrying attacks, what is the range of damage you could deal to the target, what was the initial damage you did, how much of that was deflected, how much of that was neutralized by armor, how much armor penetration did your attack have, and finally, how much total damage did you actually do. If you land a critical hit, that information will be added into this chart along with the specific modifiers which determine how much additional damage you deal. All of this information is cleanly listed in a table for you. Bananas. If you use an ability, you can hover over the name to see a tooltip reminding you what it does. Instead of saying intelligence bonus or whatever verbiage is listed in the description, the log will update with whatever the correct stat is for you. So in this case, exposed weakness says 4 instead of just intelligence bonus. If you have taken a talent that increases the effectiveness of your power, that will sometimes be listed as well, such as this example where weak body, weak soul interacts directly with exposed weakness, but it is listed separately to let me know its additional toughness and willpower penalty has been applied. If a character passes a characteristics test, you can see what they rolled and what the percentage chance was that they would actually succeed. If they fail a test that causes them to receive an effect, you can hover to see a tooltip that explains exactly what this effect does. Every time your momentum changes, you'll be giving a notification about why, whether it be due to your turn starting, enemy death, or some other factor. If you expand this tooltip, it will also list the resolve of the character involved in this change, any modifiers that changed it, and the actual amount that your momentum has moved. I could go on, but you get the point. The log is absolutely fantastic and provides a wealth of information to help you understand exactly what is happening during a fight. That is all the information I have on some of the things Owlcat has put into place to help out new players. I'll continue covering this game up through its release, so again, let me know down in the comments if there's any particular videos you want to see. If I got all this information out before you were able to see all of the triumphs and darkest hours, then I'll let this video continue to roll until you've been able to see all of them. Hope all of you enjoyed this video. Take care.